Okay, here we go. This one is for all you guys who ditched me today. Okay, take your feet to the width of the mat. Bring your pinkies right on the sides of your hips, and I want you to squeeze the elbows together. So they're just touching here, but you're not wading into your hips with your pinkies. Now, hold that and just give me a little pull, and then sweep the arms forward, and then bring them back. So if you look at me from the side, I've got a pretty good forward lean. I'm stretching out and pulling back. Keep the feet, part on the mat, part on the floor. Just do this a few more times. Because it's good for us. That's why we do this. Now come back up. Sweep the right arm up, take it over. Bring it back and do the same with the other one. And just keep going side to side. You want to give me a really big reach here, guys. Really long arm, crossing over a little. Again, when you bring the hands back, you want to be squeezing those elbows into each other. Couple more. There we go. Okay, big deep breath. Sweep the arms all the way up. And maybe it's not all the way. Maybe it's just part of the way because we're still warming up. Now take your gaze and look up. And then let's just do a nice slow swan dive down. Push your hips back and get your stomach in. Then let your head go, just relax. Totally unweight the upper body. Let your torso just kind of hang. Try not to put any weight in your hands. Now, I'm going to have you bend your right knee as far as you can comfortably, and then straighten it, and then bend your left. So you're going to notice your hips going side to side. It's not huge. Now, totally unweight the upper body again. Now, see if you can straighten your legs. And if they can't go straight quite yet, don't force anything. Remember, this is about making you feel and move better throughout your days, not to create any stress. So from here, we're going to inhale to a flat back. You're going to bring your left hand to your waist and then your right. So your torso, hopefully, is parallel to the floor. Just stay here for a sec. Now think about what you're doing with that stomach. You want to be pulling it up and into the spine. We want to keep our shoulders retracted. Now from here, you're going to take the right arm, reach it forward. So right out, nice and long, bring it back. Left arm, reach. Your palm can face the midline of the body. Do this a few more times. Try to keep the hips back and try to keep all the weight in the back of the feet. Okay, both hands on your waist. You're going to slowly come back up to standing. Take your palms together, bring your feet together. So you're standing nice and tall. Think of this as trying to get taller. So you're trying to lengthen all the way up through your thighs, your hips, your belly's up and in, and the top of the head reaching to the ceiling. Now, with your feet together and your palms at your chest, we're going to drop the chin. The minute you create movement to this, it becomes a balance challenge. Drop the chin again. And then come back up. Now, while we move, I want you to keep your feet equally weighted. Drop the chin again. Come back up one more time. Hopefully you're creating some length in your upper back. Make a nice stretch through the neck. Come back up. Now, take your gaze, look left as far as you can. Come back and stay on the same side and do it again. Try to keep the feet nice and relaxed. And just do this about 3 or 4 more times. Keep your posture beautiful.
It's all about looking tall and lean. So you gotta get yourself lengthened out. Okay, other side. You might notice, as I have just noticed, one side's usually tighter than the other. If you are a side sleeper, like I am, this is really good for you to do. Okay, a few more. Hold this one. Come back, now take that right ear down to the right shoulder. And then up and over to the other one. Now pay attention, don't let the body sway and don't let the hips move. Just the head. Try to keep equal weight in both your feet. And just take the head side to side. These muscles get really tight. You know why? From bad posture and spending too much time looking down at a phone or a screen. Okay, stay on this side. Make sure you're not dropping your chin so you feel it right here. From the tip of the ear all the way to the shoulder. That muscle you're trying to lengthen. Okay, let's come up and hold on the other side. Nice. Now we're going to make it a little easier to add a squat into this. So take the arms out, keep your feet together though. Do a little hip hinge of moving your hips back first. And now come into a little squat. Equal weight in both feet. And then come back up. I want you to sweep your arms all the way up. Try to touch the ceiling. You can take your gaze, look up. Bring the arms back to parallel. Give me that little squat again. Warming up your quads, come back up, reach for the ceiling. Try to get really tall. Come back down. Don't forget to breathe. Up and sweep. Reach for the ceiling. Take the left arm down by your side. Take the right arm up and over. Try to keep your hips quiet. So the arm is reaching more up than it is over. I want to keep the arm nice and long. Okay, bring the left arm back up. And then drop the right. And reach up and over a little. So getting a nice stretch through the side body while we challenge our balance. Keep your toes nice and relaxed. Nice, okay. We're going to turn to face the right side of our room and we're going to take our feet far apart. Not as far as you could take them. Just back off a little bit from that. Now, hands on your hips. You're going to move your hips back. Keep your spine long. And your feet should be pointing forward. Hinge a little bit more. And then hinge a little bit more. Keep the shoulders retracted so you should feel the back of the shoulders here working. Crowd out your chest. Come a little lower. So you're feeling a nice little, some length happening to the back of the legs. Now you're going to take your fingertips not to your mat, but out beyond the mat. And you're going to sort of cantilever between walking those fingers forward and pulling the hips backwards. We are stretching out our lats. Now we're going to change up the angle with the arms a little bit. So I'm going to have you walk your arms out to the side, maybe 3 or 4 little steps with the hands. Just changing up the angle a little bit. Now let's make sure your neck stays long. We just spent time stretching it out. I don't want you to stress it out.
So your head is wherever it makes your neck feel good. It's really important to pay attention to that as you exercise. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. Maybe we walk the hands out a little farther. Keep that bellow hollowing out. Now bring the hands into the center of your mat. We're gonna let the top of the head just hover above the floor. Now with your hands down and your legs straight, I'm gonna ask you to walk your feet out a little farther. If you can. And if it isn't happening today, it's no biggie. Just chill out here for a little bit. So try not to put any weight into your hands so you feel the torso just unweighting completely. Now we're going to take the arms and cross them. Maybe take your feet a little wider. Not necessary if it's not comfortable for you. And just hang here for 3 breaths. Big breaths. You know you've taken a big breath when it takes you at least 5 counts to get rid of it. Okay, we're going to take the fingertips to the floor. You're going to inhale to a flat back, look up. And then fold the torso back down. Inhale, look up. Then fold back down. And one more time. Inhale, lift. Now, from this lift, I want you to take both hands over to your left foot or your shin or whatever you can reach. Take your face, look at your knee. And again, you can play around with the angle. You can use your hands on your foot to pull the body closer to the leg. You don't have to, you could just use gravity. But important here to try to keep your legs as straight as you can. Okay, let's take the hands over to the other foot. Let's make sure we're looking at that knee. Now bring your hands back center. You're going to inhale, extend to a flat back. We're going to walk our feet back together. Turn and face forward, and let's all meet in a full fold. You got 4 to 6 inches between your feet. Unweighting your upper body again. Inhale, extend to a flat back. And let's do a reverse swan dive all the way back up to standing. Flip the palms to face up. Move the palms back. Hold it now. You're trying to reach to touch both sides of your room. I'm going to have you pick up your right foot. And you can place it inside your lower leg, or you can lift it right up. I still want you to try to work your arms out and back. Circle your foot. Feels so good. Point and flex. Now let the hands relax. You give your arms a little bit of a break. Put that foot down. Switch. Lift the left one. Bring the arms back out with your palms facing up. Circle your foot. Go the other way. Nice. Point and flex. Bring the foot down, relax the arms. So just loosen up. Take your body left to right. Let the arms just kind of dangle. And let's take a nice big deep breath. Bring your hands to heart. I want you to step your left foot forward and your right leg back. Now let's get up on the toes of the back foot and take a peek down at your feet, and let's make sure they're in the straight line. So both feet are facing forward.
Now, I'm gonna have you lower the right knee towards the floor, and you can have your left knee come forward and then come right back up. Just a little warm-up exercise before we get into some deeper stretching in these legs and hips. Ooh, this is so much fun. Okay, now come up this time. Push your back heel to the floor if you can. And if you can't, step that back foot in a little closer. Fold down with your body. Torso is going to stay long, so you're not rounding your back. Come back up. And fold down. Come back up. And let's do this one last time as it feels good. Ah, love doing this. Okay, take your hands to your shin. Now you're going to round your back. Fold over that leg. If you can, your hands are down on the floor and both your legs are straight. Try not to offset weight in the hands. Hips are nice and square. 3 more really big breaths. See if you can count 5 counts when you exhale out. That's how big they are. Okay, let's take the hands back to your shin. I'm going to have you walk them up your leg. Now, bring your hands to heart. Take that back foot, step it back a little further and get up off the heel. Bring the arms up. Hopefully you're feeling a stretch through that right hip flexor. Just hold this for a few counts. Now, lower the heel, and if it doesn't get to the floor, that's okay. Mine is not. I'm gonna lift back up again. Lower back down. Control the movement. Going up and down, slow and methodically. Hopefully you're feeling your arms do a little work here. I'd like to have them straight if possible. And you can always open them up wider to get them straight, maybe. Okay, let's bring the hands to heart. You're going to step your back foot in and we're going to switch. So remember, when we started this exercise, back foot isn't so far back. Whoops. Okay, let's take a peek at our feet. Make sure we got them in a straight line. Come off the back heel, lower down. And press back up. You're just going straight up and down. It's also really a good stretch for the pad of your foot, the back foot, of course. Your front leg, you should be pressing up through your heel when you're coming back up. Okay, now take that back foot, put the heel down, and if it doesn't reach, step your foot in closer. Make sure you have enough distance between the front and the back foot in terms of width that you don't feel like you're going to topple over when we start folding. So let's keep both legs straight, fold halfway down. And then come back up. So we want the shoulders over the hips when we come back up. Then we're going to fold back down. You'll notice I'm going nice and slow. Just kind of savoring the feeling. One more time. Now stay here, put your hands on your shin. Maybe take them down a little further. If they go all the way to the floor, fabulous. Hold at the halfway point with your spine long. Give me some of those deep breaths. And when you're ready now, fold over that leg. Your spine is going into flexion and you're relaxing your head down. So your neck has no tension. Try not to put any weight into your hands.
Just let your upper body do its thing. Okay, let's bring the hands back to your shin. You're gonna walk them up your leg. We're gonna take our back foot, step it a little further back. Let's keep the torso long and your shoulders over your hips. Get high up with the back heel, and let's work the arms up. So while you lift the arms over your head, you want to try to pull apart the shoulders. Then you're going to relax that back heel down as far as it can go, and then come back up again. And lower, and lift. Just do it a few more times. Don't forget to breathe. Nice, hold up, bring your hands back to your chest, step your back foot in, take a nice big deep breath. You're gonna do a little flow, little yoga flow, why not? Come all the way down slowly. You're gonna inhale and extend into a flat back. Exhale back down, palms down, step back both feet, high plank. Give me a hover and let's be in your up dog on the tops of your feet. So let's try to lift the knees off the floor if we can. Keep micro bends in the elbows. Now we're going to tuck the toes under, lift your hips up. Let's meet in a down dog. Pushing your heels to the floor. Make sure you walk up, not hold your upper body through the arms so far that you don't see them. Come back to plank. Give me a little hover. Let's do this again. Right to up dog. Knees off the floor if you can. Right back to down dog. And float it forward. Give me that nice hover. Back to your up dog. Toes tuck under. Hold your high plank here. Drop into your shoulders a little bit so you don't have the sticky outy wings in your back. Now, just hold. 1 or 2 more breaths, and then we're going to meet down on our forearms. To get there, if you can, keep the knees off the floor. Let's take it down. Hold this low plank. We're not here long. Hollow out the belly. Now to create a little more tension, isometrically try to move those elbows towards your feet. Keep the legs locked out straight. Keep the belly in. Keep your face up. And put the knees down. Walk your forearms back. We're going to meet in a child's pose. Take those knees far apart. Relax the forehead down to the floor. Give me some of those 5-count breaths. Okay. Bring your knees together so they're hip width apart. I want you to tuck your toes under. You're going to take your hips. I want you to have a towel, first of all. So find a towel for your forehead. It's going to make it more comfortable. So you got your toes tucked under. You're going to walk your hands forward and your hips back over your heels. So inch those hands as far forward as you can. Your ears are just inside the arms. So think about breathing and getting your armpits closer to the floor. We've got some shoulder work coming up. It's really good for your upper back. So let's get there. So you're going to take your fingers. I'm going to try to cue this properly. Take your hands. You're going to clasp your fingers together. You haven't moved the rest of your body. You're going to put your forehead down on the floor. You're going to take your hands with your fingers clasped behind your head. So you got your elbows out to the side. Now, from here, you're gonna lift the right elbow as high up as you can, and then lower it. Lift your left elbow as high up as you can, and then lower it. Keep alternating side to side. Try not to push with your hands, your head into the floor. Just try to have them relaxing as best you can as you alternate these legs. This should feel like a little challenging after you've done a few of these. Really make sure you're trying to get the elbow up each time. It's a big concerted effort. It's just not lift lower, lift lower, lift lower, right? You want to be slow and steady here. Fingers are relaxed. Don't push them into your head. Okay, now pick a side, any side, and just do 10 lifts on that one side. Make them great. I'm about halfway through my 10. That's how slow I'm going. Okay, now switch sides when you've done 10 to the other side. Keep breathing. Should feel like work, hopefully. A couple more. Okay, nice work. Come on up onto all fours. Keep your toes tucked under. Your wrists are under the shoulders. We're gonna do some cat-cows. We're gonna go nice and slow. Push away from the floor, round your back. Draw the hips backwards a little bit. And then fall into the shoulders, bring the hips forward. Take your gaze forward and look up. So now you got your belly in. And your coccyx bone going up towards the ceiling. With a big arch in your spine. Reverse it. Draw back a little bit. Round, so you're pushing away from the floor. Drop your head. Hold on this for a breath more. And reverse it. It's all about the belly here. You got to get it in somehow. Okay, one more time. Round, drop the head. Draw the hips back a little bit. Suck in the belly. Okay, come back to a neutral spine. Come off your hands. You're gonna need 2 towels, at least, just to make it. If you're using little ones, a little pushier. I'm gonna put those 2 towels under my right knee. I'm gonna bring my left foot forward. So I'm gonna let my hips come forward. And I'm gonna let my knee is over the toes. Bring your hands down to the instep of that foot. So I'm gonna wait for you to get into this position with your knee over the toes in the front. We're just gonna hang here. Now, I'm gonna have you open the knee to the left, move it out, and then bring it back in and push it as hard as you can into the arm. Open it back out as far as you can, just using muscle, not your hand, and pull it in. And do it again. Open. And push. Now, with your hands on the floor, I just want you to draw the hips back. Slowly. Bring them back. See if you can get your front legs straight. You haven't moved your hands. They're just down on the floor inside the front foot. Toes push up to the ceiling on that left leg. Toes come down, hips come forward, back to your starting point.
Nice. Let that knee open out to the side if it wants to. Your knee is still forward up the toes. If you can, let's lower to the forearms. Hold on this pose and breathe. Now try your best to pull the left knee towards the left arm. Even if it's isometric and nothing's really moving. Create that activation. And now bring your hips backwards, moving the forearms backwards. Keeping your upper body low. Toes up. Feel all those tendons behind the knee, get a nice stretch. Bring it forward. You're back down on the forearms, if you can, otherwise you're on your hands. Now, come back up onto the hands. Pull the hips backwards again, let the hands walk back. See the difference of how less strenuous this is? Take that left hand to the outside of that foot. Bring the hips forward again. So now you've got your hands on either side of the front foot. Come off your back knee. Sweep your arms all the way up. Get your shoulders over your hips and bring the arms up to the ceiling. Hold here for a breath or two. And then swan dive it back down. We're going to step back and meet plank. Now we're going to oscillate between down dog and plank. So pull back. Get high on the toes as you float the body forward. And then keep repeating. When you come back, drive your heels down. Get up on the toes and float forward. And do it one more time. Nice. Now from your plank, step your right foot forward. Take your towels, move them over to the left so they're going to be under your left knee. Let your hips come forward. And I want you to find your right knee over the toes. So just keep adjusting till you get there. Once you're there, bring that right hand to the inside of that foot. Hang up here, let that knee open to the right. Push it into the arm as hard as you can. And then open. And just sort of keep oscillating between pushing and opening. You can come off the instep of that front foot a little bit when you open. There are no rules, you just want to go where this feels good. All those little tendons that connect with your quadricep are getting a nice stretch. Okay, on this last push, if you can, slowly, without moving your hands, move your hips backwards. See if you can get them back till that front leg is now straight. Let those toes push up towards the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe. Come back forward. Let the knee come over the toes. Lower down onto your forearms if it's happening today, and if it isn't, no worries. From this down low position, try to move your hips back. Toes up. Bring them back forward. And you can be up on your hands and doing this stretch and getting just as much benefit. There's no right way or wrong way. Our bodies are all different. Just honor what feels good and hang out.
Bring your breathing to your practice. Such a huge benefit when you do that. Okay, back up onto your hands. Walk those hips back one last time, toes up. Walk those hands a little further forward. Let's get these lats nice and long. Okay, so from here, bring your hands back. You're just going to have a seat on your rear end and extend both legs out in front. So a little bit more stretching for your inner thighs. And your QL, your quadratus lumborum muscle. So we're going to take the right foot, bring it inside the left leg. It can be closer to your ankle, the mid part of your calf or your knee, whatever your body, wherever your body wants to put it. So make sure you're sitting tall and long, and then hinge forward with your spine long. Walk your hands down your leg. See how far you can get. Once you can't get any further, I'm going to have you take your upper back and go into flexion. And if you can, lower the forearms to the floor, hold the back of the heel. Now take that right knee and try to push it down towards the floor using muscle. Now walk your hands back up your leg, and let's do the same on the other side. So right leg extends, left leg pulls in. Your right foot's flexed, you're walking down your leg with your spine long. And when you're ready, you're going to round your back, fold over that leg. Hold the heel if you can, lower those forearms to the floor if you can. Just breathe. Make sure you're not putting any stress on your neck. So keep it long. Lift your head up if you have to. Okay, let's bring it back. Now you're going to bring both your heels in, connect the bottoms of your feet. We're going to hold our feet. You're going to walk your butt a little closer to your heels. And now I'm just going to have you lift the knees up and then lower them. Stay nice and tall with your torso. So maybe you're moving a few inches. I don't know. Everybody's flexibility is different. Lift up and lower down. Lift and lower. Now we're going to take our elbows to our knees, and we're going to see if we can help them a little bit and just sort of rock side to side. Very tiny, 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 tiny. Again, you're still nice and long through your torso. So we're feeling this in our groin and inner thigh area. Okay. Extend the legs all the way out. Bring the heels to the corners of your mat. A couple of Pilates style sit-ups coming up. Here we go. You can have the arms out, or if you want to amp it up, you can cross them, makes it much harder. You're going to C-curve the spine. You're going to come down nice and slow. Pull in the stomach. That's the most important thing. If it's bulging out, it's not doing you much for your looks. Okay, now once you're down, take those arms back behind you. Point your toes. Take a few breaths so you get your body nice and long. Now, bring the arms back up. You can either hold them out in front to help you get up, lift your head, or you can take them back where you have them. You're going to round up and come between your legs. Walk your hands forward. And let's do that again. C-curving back down, one vertebrae at a time, bringing that belly in, going nice and slow. You be the boss here. You got to control the movement.
Head down, arms sweep back. Point those toes. Okay, I'm gonna have you put bends in your knees. So bend your legs. Your arms are still back behind you. I want you to clasp your hands together. I want you to rock the pelvis up. So your low back skin is on the floor. Bring the arms forward. Clasped together with your hands, and then take them all the way back. Maybe the hands don't touch the floor back there, or maybe they do. But what's most important is that this feels good. Reach the arms long. You might get them a little lower. Now that you've done this a few times, we're going to do 10 repetitions in total. It's a great stretch for the back of the arms to affect our shoulder mobility. I'm doing 2 more because I love this. Oh, so good. So it takes me like 4 or 5 counts to get back. That's how slow I'm going. I'm resisting on my way down. Once I get there, I'm taking a nice breath. And then I come up, reaching out and long. So it's just not whimsical, it's deliberate. Okay, bring your knees into the chest. We're going to give ourselves a nice little massage for our lower back. So your knees are close, maybe hip width. Now let's open and circle one at a time. Keep your core strong, so you're stable, and then switch to the other. Okay, so put your feet back on the floor, almost like you're going to get into a bridge, but we're not. Take your right knee, cross it over the left. Now, from here, let the knees go down to the right, and you're going to take them most of the way down, but not all the way. Bring your left arm out at a 45-degree angle from your body. Take advantage of that right leg over the left and use it to create length over that hip. So you're pushing it down, but it's not quite going to get to the floor, the knee. Play around with the angle of your arm. Maybe you take it out to the side for a little bit. Different stretch through your chest. Maybe you keep it at that 45-degree angle. Or maybe you try taking it straight backwards. Okay, let's come off that side, uncross. We're going to go opposite way. So left knee crosses over right. Guide them towards the floor on the left side. Don't let them quite get there. Bring that right arm up, take it over and out, and keep it long and active. Spread those fingers wide in that right hand. Try to reach the side of the room. Change up the angle of the arm. Okay, bring the arm back, bring the knees back, uncross them, extend them all the way down along the floor, and bring the arms all the way back behind you. Big full body stretch for the last time. Keep your ribs low and your belly down, and sweep the arms forward.
Cross them over your chest or keep them long, lift your head, keep your belly in. Come up one vertebrae at a time. We're gonna dive between the legs, extend the arms out. One last opportunity here to stretch out your lower back. 3 big deep breaths. Nice job, bring it back up. Sit up nice and tall. I thank you so much for your power and your strength. And I look forward to your feedback. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you get it done. Save it for later if you can't do it today. Cheers, guys.